Hello guys, and welcome back to another Sims 2 speed build. We are today building a kind of like English cottage, I would say is the vibe. I actually built this a couple of weeks back, and I meant to do this voiceover and post it, but I didn't get around to it, but here I am, I'm doing it now. So I'm going to be watching this with you guys, and gonna be guessing what's about to happen next, because obviously I remember it. I haven't forgotten building it, but it's not super fresh in my mind. So there's going to be a little bit of just imagine we're watching it together for the first time. I think might be the best way. But if you've watched my other videos, you'll know that this is way out of my wheelhouse, way out. This is not what I usually do. I'm more of a modern builder. I like to build kind of more mid-century and apartments and all that kind of thing. You know, if you've watched my videos, you're sick of hearing me say this by now, but that's the truth. I'm really not the, your cutesy traditional Sims 2 kind of builder, to be honest. So for me, I thought this could be a fun challenge and something a bit different, and something to maybe like reset my brain a little bit, because it gets to a point where I'm building modern, and it can feel like, okay, I need a little bit of I need to step back a second and then get some fresh ideas in my brain for modern builds, so you don't just end up repeating yourself, But as you can see, I'm building this very quickly. My gosh, this has come out of nowhere. I think I might have sped this up a bit too fast, because like, what is it done, But anyway, the exterior is basically done. What would you say this is, like Tudor? The outside's giving me Tudor vibes. But I wasn't really tied to any one style or another. I was just going with the flow. And kind of the reason I fell into this was, like I just said, I wanted to try something a bit different, but also Sims 2 really just gave us all the like old grandma swatches that we could ever dream of. And quite a lot of these are like cottagey swatches, to be honest, as well. So there's no shortage of options for building a house like this, which I think is where you see quite a lot of these builds in all the different Sims games, Sims 2, Sims 3, Sims 4. This is not something that there's any shortage of, so, I'm not breaking the mold here very much. I'm not doing anything too out there. But, for me, it was a fun, different thing to do. And as you can see, I'm not gonna hold back on these patterns and these textures and all these funky wallpapers and sofas. All that kind of thing is definitely gonna show up in this lot today. So what are we doing? It's pretty small. It's a pretty small house, because it's a cottage, right? It's not going to have tons and tons of rooms. And I'm really not educated enough to tell you kind of what era I think this would be from, or like anything like that. So if anyone's got any kind of guesses or estimations, do comment that, because that would be interesting for me to hear what you think. What like year you think this would have been built? Are we thinking like 1700s, 1500s? I don't know. No idea. But obviously it would have been modernised a little bit over the years, but I've not built it in the way that it's been like recently modernised. I don't know if you really would be able to even modernise a house like this. Like if this were the UK, no way, they would not let you touch this. Maybe you could like, I don't know, do some internal decoration, but the exterior would most likely be protected. They're really strict with this kind of stuff in a lot of the UK. They wouldn't let you change kind of how the building looks, which is right, I think. There's definitely space for modern buildings, as you'll know if you've watched my videos. I'll say that for the 20th time on this channel. But like things like this, I think it's good, let them be, let this kind of history, let the history breathe, let the history be preserved. So yeah, here we are then on the inside. I'm doing kind of a little utility room there next to the kitchen. I felt that was kind of era appropriate. It might have been more of like a boot room in the day, where you would maybe take the muddy shoes off, or I don't know what they would have done in there. Maybe they'd washed the clothes, because this house probably wouldn't have had a bathroom inside when it was built. It probably definitely wouldn't have had electricity and water, maybe even we're throwing it back today. This is not they aren't the modern amenities that we're used to today in a house like this. So when I say it hasn't been modernized, obviously it's got like a bathroom, but there's going to be no bifold doors or fancy I don't know. The brain's not working. I'm tired, guys. I'm a bit jet lagged. Well, not too jet lagged. I went to Istanbul, which was beautiful. Any Turkish viewers, let me know. Make yourself known. Say hello. What a beautiful country, what a beautiful city. It's so nice. I was there for a wedding, and I didn't really have any expectations. I knew it was a mega city. I knew it was kind of like amazing chaos kind of vibe, but it just exceeded my expectations like 10 times. Amazing place. If you get the chance to go, do go. But to say I'm jet lagged is maybe a bit of a stretch, because it's only 2 hours ahead. But I landed at like 1 in the morning. Oh no, I landed at midnight and got home at 1 in the morning. So I'm a bit like, I'm a bit woozy. So yeah, the voiceover's probably coming at you a little bit full on at the moment, a little bit delirious, but that's okay. We're gonna just keep progressing. And maybe I should talk about what you're actually seeing. So I went for that classic wooden kitchen, which is a staple of mine. Even in like modern houses, traditional houses, that wooden kitchen swatch just never fails me. It never has, and it never will. I love it so much. And I think with the decoration or like the wall texture or whatever it is, you can modernize it or scale it back or make it feel super simple and all that good stuff. So it's very versatile. And in the bedrooms now, I felt like wood was appropriate, just floorboards for the floors, because, you know, it's probably what would have been there. And I used that throughout the whole thing, I think, maybe even in the bathrooms too. But this is the master bedroom, and it actually has like a little ensuite. So I don't know how realistic that would be, but maybe it would have been like a cupboard or something. But also, you know, I don't work for like English heritage. This doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. I think taking some inspo from the era, the architecture of the time is enough. And then adding in a few modern amenities, you know, like bathrooms is probably allowed. And then I thought, okay, well, rather than shoving like a double bed into that awkward second bedroom upstairs, I'd make a kind of little kids bedroom for 2 kids, which I think was the perfect use for this space. And I kind of didn't mind that it was higgledy-piggledy, the layout. Like when I was building it at the start, I kind of raced through it with this very, very fast speed build. But I was kind of just throwing down walls in a zigzaggy fashion, which I think these old houses, they were kind of quirky and kooky, and maybe little bits have been added over the years. So you do end up with quite an unusual like layout sometimes. So this bedroom, usually I would not have, I wouldn't build a room that shape, but why not? Lots of books in this house, lots of books. The people that live here, you know, they like their history, they like their, you know, the old heritage. So it made sense to me that they would have lots of books, even though every single house I build has so many books. So that's kind of, it's just such a good way to fill a wall, in my opinion. And then a pond. Why not? Why not have a pond? Maybe this was a sort of industrial building. Maybe there was some kind of mill, or maybe they had a little, what do they call them, like wheel spinning on the water, a mill. Like maybe they had that out there for, I don't know, whether they used that for energy, or I don't know how it worked. Again, I don't know why I'm like trying to treat this like some kind of accurate historical tour, but cute little garden. I let it stay kind of overgrown. I let it stay kind of, unkempt, which I think it looks quite nice. And oh my gosh, here we are, we're done. That went so quickly. Hello then, again. Not hello, goodbye then, I suppose. This is the English cottage. Nothing like I've done before, but here we are enjoying the scenery of the garden, the beautiful trees. It's a little bit overgrown, and there we have the hallway with the entrance. Making our way through the living room and onto the rest of the house. I'm going to show you the bedrooms and the kitchen, and then we'll be done. But I just want to say thank you so much for watching this very quick speed build. This was rapid. I feel like I barely breathed. I'm going to do a longer video next so we can get into it a bit more. This felt so rushed. But again, thank you for watching. You know what to do if you liked what you saw. Please give me a comment. I love to hear from you guys. And a like and a subscribe if you would like to see more. I will leave you with the floor plans, and I will see you in the next one.